The royal tour of Africa has been a feast of smiles and hugs so far.
Everything's based around Archie's feed times, so it's a full plate, but we're making it work. It's worth it.
But now the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have come out fighting, facing down media critics and taking legal action against the Mail on Sunday, a British tabloid. In a lawsuit, the royal couple says the tabloid unlawfully edited and published a private letter believed to be from Meghan to her estranged father, Thomas Markle. Prince Harry spelling out the couple's hurt and anger at the tabloid media in a statement as hard-hitting as it was emotional. I cannot begin to describe how painful it has been, Prince Harry writes, accusing the tabloid media of waging a ruthless campaign that has escalated over the past year, throughout her pregnancy and while raising our newborn son. In one story, Meghan accused of supporting a group of women at a mosque linked to terror suspects after she shared recipes and her joy of cooking with survivors of a high-rise inferno. In other stories, she's depicted as hailing from the mean streets of L.A., said to be difficult and demanding. Prince Harry adding, "I have been a silent witness to her private suffering, vilified almost daily for the past 9 months. They've been able to create lie after lie at her expense."
We've never seen Harry speak with such ferocity about certain sections of the British press. He's clearly decided to pick a fight.
This morning, the couple met with youth in a township outside Johannesburg, addressing jobs and unemployment. The royal family no strangers to asking courts to protect their privacy. It was the media's treatment of Princess Diana, Harry's mom, that shaped his fierce determination to protect his family. "My deepest fear is history repeating itself," Harry says in his statement. "I lost my mother, and now I watch my wife falling victim to the same powerful forces." It's a risk Harry is not prepared to take without a fight. The Duke and Duchess's legal team say that the tabloid strategically omitted certain paragraphs and words from that private letter. The Mail on Sunday, responding in a statement, said that the letter was not edited in any way to change its meaning, and they'll defend the case vigorously. The Duke and Duchess say any potential damages will be donated to an anti-bullying charity. Hoda, Savannah.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. And we're joined now by Victoria Arbiter, who's been following the royals for years. In fact, her father is a former press secretary to the Queen, so it's literally in your DNA watching the royals. This isn't unprecedented, but it's very unusual for the royals to strike back, to sue a British tabloid. Is it a risky move?
I think it has the potential to be a risky move, certainly. You're absolutely right. The royals generally avoid any kind of legal action simply because, in their view, it tends to perpetuate the story further. They have been successful. In 2017, William and Kate were awarded €100,000 after French magazine Closer published topless photographs of Kate. But it can go against them as well. In 2015, Prince Charles lost an injunction against the Guardian newspaper. They went ahead and published his private letters. But what we have here with Harry is there is the legal action, but he is taking on a beast with the British media.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of women were probably giving him a good attaboy because he he defended his woman, and we think that was pretty cool. But, I mean, what do you think this is going to mean for the British press now? You said they're aggressive. What do you think the result will be?
Well, the tabloid media is not shy when it comes to defending themselves. And the Mail on Sunday has already said that they deny these claims, these allegations that Harry has made in this statement, and that they plan to defend themselves vigorously. The media tends to stick together. There's a couple of reporters that are in South Africa that have tweeted this morning saying there's an atmosphere. Harry and Meghan appeared for their first time in public since this statement was released yesterday. And already there's a little tension. For me, the timing is just so odd because here we are in Southern Africa. This tour has been a massive success. They have championed women's rights, conservation, the empowerment of the youth. It's been positive story after positive story. And yet now this is what we're talking about.
Well, so people can understand, because we always remark, in this country, we don't see the press that she gets, but apparently, and you can tell us, there's a lot of vitriol directed at her. Is it over and above what a royal should expect from being in the public eye? I mean, is it so vicious?
a lot of it has been very vicious. Look, she's not the first member of the royal family to be on the receiving end of negative press, but I do think this has been at an extraordinary level. One example, just to really illustrate for you, when Meghan appeared at the British Fashion Awards, she wore a one-shoulder dress. She was described by some quarters as vulgar. The Duchess of Cambridge wore a one-shoulder dress a few months later. She was described as a Greek goddess, as ethereal. So that's where we're seeing this type of double standard. Now, the question we have to address as well is the supply and demand. You well know that with online media, that's driven by ad revenue. So people are clicking on these stories. The longer people click on these stories, the more these stories are going to be written. But no one's being held accountable, and I think that's what Harry wants to change.
It's a tough case, though, isn't it? Because Meghan Markle's father is the one who gave the newspaper the letter and said, print it.
Yes.
So, I mean, they have, look, the laws in Britain are less friendly to the press, so maybe they have a stronger case there, but it's a tricky one.
It is, and I worry now that this is going to bring him out of the woodwork again. He's been nothing but trouble since he didn't come to the royal wedding. So there is that element as well. You know, it's interesting that Harry said towards the end of the statement, he said, I'm not sure this is a safe action, but it's the right one. So he well knows this could backfire spectacularly, but I think he wanted to draw a line in the sand. This is a very strong line in the sand, and it was clearly written by him.
Very emotionally talked about the suffering that he's watched his wife go through. Victoria, thank you. It's very interesting.
Thanks, Victoria.